Welcome to GearCheckGames. This is part 2 of our commentary for Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. Last time we cleared out Angel Island Zone and Hydro City Zone and grabbed 3 of the Chaos Emeralds. And in this zone we're going to be tackling Marble Garden Zone, which has given me some pretty strong Sonic Adventure vibes, TBH.
Nice.
Aw, lost your shield.
Yeah, I tried. I tried my best.
You failed miserably, so don't try.
So,
Yeah, that's the lesson of this. See, the Sonic CD theme song lied. You can't do anything.
if I may, since we're already in a bonus room, Marble Garden Zone is the game is like, hey, those first 2 levels were fun, but these are going to be extra, like, trolly in enemy placement and hazards.
I said in the last part where, like, the first couple levels are kind of, like, straightforward, but I feel like this is the first, like, big-time level where there's multiple paths and you kind of got to choose what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, and Marble Garden is kind of, for my money, it's one of the first areas where this game is really like, okay, if you want to, like, progress in this level, you need to kind of get a handle on how Sonic moves, because Sonic does not really control, like, your typical video game protagonist, and I think that kind of raises a barrier of entry for a lot of people, myself included. When I first got the Sonic Mega Collection back when I was a kid, I didn't quite know what to do with it, because Sonic is very much at the mercy of the terrain in this game. Like, for instance, if you try to run up a hill and you don't have momentum built up, you are not going up that hill. Or if you jump while you're going up a slope at a slow speed, you're going to jump away from the slope and not forwards. And that might seem really annoying to a new player, and it is.
Yeah.
Let me be real, because that was me at one point. But, like, if you really put in some time to, like, practice this game and play it again and again, and it's short enough that, like, I think it's fair to say that was how it was intended to be played. But if you really practice with the controls here, you can pull off some really cool stuff with, like, Sonic's momentum.
Thanks,
especially with the spin dash.
Well, dude, and just like you said in the past, like, I love that this. Oh, that sucks.
What hit you there?
That's a lot of rings.
The hitbox on those
sad face.
The hitbox on those platforms, I experienced this with my brother earlier today, is really, really, like, unnecessarily large.
Oh.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not even sure what hit me there.
Yeah.
Like, I know that the spikes got me, but I didn't really see where they got me.
So the spikes got you, it should have squished you. So that was kind of weird.
I don't know if I've used it yet in this playthrough, but one of the other great things that Sonic 3 a.i.r. added to Sonic 3 and Knuckles was the addition of the drop dash introduced in Sonic Mania as an unlockable. There it is.
Nice.
Basically, if you hold the jump button in midair, you'll charge up a spin dash, or a slightly less powerful spin dash that activates as soon as you land. Whereas with the normal spin dash, you have to come to a complete stop and, like, rev it up yourself.
So you can basically
just
start
a really
your dash
good
in the
addition
air.
to. Yeah. Just a really good way to kind of improve the fluidity of Sonic's movement in this game.
Oh. So, I'm guessing
I like that it's not like a fully powered spin dash. Like, it gives you a little bit of extra speed, but like rolling, it's a lot more reliant on, like, the curvature of the terrain to make the most of it.
So, I'm guessing the fire power up, the fire dash, is kind of like a high risk, high reward. It's like lots of damage, but you don't know exactly what you're going to be running into.
I would say it's probably the trickiest to use, but it definitely has its applications.
Oh yeah, it's good for bosses, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's good for, getting back to the platform after you one cycle the Angel Island boss.
Yeah.
Another thing about the old Sonic games that really added a lot of variety to the levels were these
such a weird device.
Yeah.
were these wonderful little tops you can ride on.
Oh, bonus room.
Goodbye, bonus room.
Drill!
Or just like similar level specific objects and gimmicks like that.
I'm not the only one that does that.
He didn't put up much of a fight. Yeah, I often find myself bopping my head to the tunes in this game.
They're good tunes.
I pointed this out to my brother earlier. I love that whatever you do, Tails immediately does too. So like if you duck,
wow.
he ducks. If you jump, he jumps. It's really adorable.
Yeah, but a second too late.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing about Tails is he's basically doing the same thing as Diddy Kong did in Donkey Kong Country, where he just like mimics all your movements.
Yeah.
But in Donkey Kong Country, Diddy is like, he doesn't really react to the terrain around you, so he just kind of like perfectly mirrors what you do.
Yeah.
Whereas Tails in this game, like, they did not program him to like be immune to what happens, so he just kind of like dies constantly.
Yeah, it's comical.
Diddy's
Because what's
actually
happening, yeah, because what's happening in the level is like 1 second too late for like how it was supposed to help him or whatever.
Okay, so I know we just displayed it, but I love the fact that you're basically like chasing the drill and it keeps destroying the environment as you go through the level.
Oh yeah, one of the nice little additions that Sonic 3 made to the Sonic formula that wasn't really in 1, 2, I guess it was in CD a little bit, but levels or like small in-game cutscenes where, you know, like Knuckles will show up to lay a trap for you, or Eggman will show up for a little bit, and you're just to kind of make it feel a little bit more like an adventure and not just like a series of levels.
Right.
And I feel like that's something that's like really celebrated within the Sonic fandom, but this game in general, I feel like is really, like, Sonic fans generally love this game, but I don't hear this game talked about in like mainstream game criticism circles as much as like Sonic 2 or Sonic CD.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because, like, I don't know. I know, you know, everybody has their own tastes and everything, but like I look at this one, it's like, how could anybody think that the other ones are better than this? Because this one's got it all.
Dude, ever since you suggested it and I've been steadily plugging through it on the GameCube, I've really grown to love it. Like, it's got some like really memorable levels. And like the music alone is like enough to just keep your head in the game, even if the gameplay itself isn't necessarily your cup of tea.
Well, I'm glad you're able to get into it because, you know, like I said, when I first got the Sonic Mega Collection at the age of I think 12, you know, I had already played like Sonic Adventure 2, and like to me that was Sonic, and the design of these older games didn't really gel with me quite as much. But then when I got into high school, I started to get into like YouTube more and started watching people who, you know, obviously had a lot of like fondness for these games and really played it up like, yeah, this is Sonic, like this is Sonic at his best. And I was like, I don't know. But then, you know, after I kind of like beat my head against a wall and like got a feel for these games, I really did come to appreciate them in a way that I feel like a lot of people who grew up with the Sonic games that I did weren't really able to.
Yo. Ooh, nice.
So what you're saying, Joe, is that
Not
you're a
nice.
sheep who can't think for himself.
Yeah, I'm a sheep. I'm easily influenced by online personalities.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, no, I still love like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 and, you know, some of the more recent games like Colors and Generations, but like, you know, if you put a gun to my head and it was like, what's the best Sonic game? I'm not gonna lie to you.
I won't even touch a Sonic game if it doesn't have a Chow Garden.
So, my first Sonic game was actually Sonic 2, because when I got the Genesis, it came with Sonic 2.
Yeah.
And then when I went to I used to live near a mom and pop video store, and then one day I saw Sonic 3 there and was like, whoa, Sonic 3, okay, I'll try it. And I fell in love with this game ever since. I love this game.
How would you say that Sonic 3 standalone stacks up against Sonic 2? Because Sonic 2 does have like twice as many zones as standalone Sonic 3 does.
I would put 3 over it, but I would understand why people would put 2 over it.
Yeah, I would agree. For Sonic 3 standalone, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is a different story, but
Oh yeah.
But even for me, like yeah, I get the argument. Like, yeah, 6 zones really isn't that many compared to 2's like 12-ish.
Yeah, but
at the same time, like, these levels are just so much better.
Yeah.
That, and I feel like there's a lot more meatier. You get a lot more meat on your bones at these levels.
Well, yeah, Because, like, you know, even if you just have Sonic 3, like, you can play as Sonic and Tails, and they each have, like, different abilities. Like, Tails can fly around, and Sonic has the Insta-Shield.
I feel like it's quality over quantity.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would say.
Yeah, but in Sonic Adventure,
to
you could play as 6 different characters, technically
Okay,
7.
maybe
with wildly different playstyles.
Like, not to say Sonic 2
pinnacle
has
of
bad
variety.
levels, but I just feel like everything just feels bigger in this one, bigger and better.
Yeah. Now, Sonic CD, on the other hand, that game's levels are just terrible.
Now, hold up now.
Good soundtrack.
I like Sonic CD.
I like it too. It's just.
Are we gonna
you know,
play Sonic CD? Because if not, we gotta get the argument of what's the better soundtrack.
Well, there is no
Is
argument.
it
I
even
think
a
we're gonna
debate?
Because here's the deal: you pick the Japanese soundtrack, or you're wrong.
Yeah.
I have
My
no thoughts
take
on
on
this
the,
one.
I've heard both the soundtracks, and I feel like, in most of the cases, the Japanese soundtrack is just, like, leagues better in terms of just, like, the music itself, but I feel like the American soundtrack has songs, in a lot of cases, or just some I don't know, I haven't listened to it in a long time, but I feel like the songs sometimes fit the tone of the game better.
Yeah, the American soundtrack has a lot of really good, like, ambient music in it, especially for, like, the bad futures, I find.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just has this nice,
That
like,
fire
kind of
animation.
mournful but also threatening quality. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
looking at
like
this
the Japanese
polygon
soundtrack is a
tree.
bop all the way through, but the American,
Yeah.
but it's like also a game that's about some like kind of heavy stuff.
Yeah, I think you could make the argument that the US soundtrack, like, suits the tone of the game better, but the Japanese one is just so good to listen to.
Oh,
Yeah.
quick
I
kill.
usually have trouble
Yeah.
with this boss, so you made
Same.
pretty good work of him.
Oh, you should try fighting this boss as Tails,
Oh,
because...
For the whole time, you just have
You
to
know?
stop Sonic from dying as he keeps jumping out of your arms to smack Robotnik.
Well, no,
I know.
Tails... okay.
that would be funny.
Sorry, sometimes my sarcasm detector doesn't work.
Oh, here comes the best zone in the game.
Oh, yeah. What do you mean, Trey? This zone is great.
This zone trolled the hell out of me.
You know what, though? I've honestly never been too crazy about the music in this zone.
Didn't Michael Jackson do the music? I don't remember if that was like proven or that was like a myth or.
Okay, so every Sonic 3 playthrough must address this at some point,
Yep.
so I guess this is the perfect time. So I think the only thing that Sega has officially confirmed is that at one point Michael Jackson was considered / approached to do the soundtrack for Sonic 3. However, there have been conflicting reports coming from, like, people who have worked on the game, or who had worked on the game, about, like, to what degree he was involved. And the prevailing theory I'm hearing is that, like, if you look at the credits in Sonic 3,
Whoa.
Oh god.
Sonic 3 specifically, you'll see, yeah, I have a little bit of trouble with this part. I'm trying to get a lightning barrier.
Oh.
But if you look at the credits of Sonic 3, there are, like, a ton of composers.
So it was like a multitude.
That all just disappear when you get to Sonic and Knuckles to be replaced by, like, Howard Drawson and some of the, like, Japanese sound team. Yeah, I almost jump into the spikes and lose it immediately.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah. So all of those people just didn't come back for Sonic and Knuckles, and some of them, like, I believe,
Oh wait.
Sirocco Jones, or like Sirocco. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce the man's name. But
Sriracha Jones.
in particular, Brad Buxer is the big one, because he has had, like, known ties to Michael Jackson. Like, I think he was an audio engineer on a lot of his music. And in fact, the zone that we're gonna go to next, Ice Cap Zone, the song that plays over that is literally, like, bar for bar, an unused, like, demo song from a band that Brad Buxer was in like, the 80s. That never got released, so, like...
He's repurposed it.
Yeah, he just, like, reused it for Sonic 3. which has kind of brought this game into a bit of a legal gray area as far as like re-releasing it goes. In fact, a big reason why this fan-made mod was made in the first place is because the Sonic Mania devs, prior to Sonic Mania, created remastered versions of Sonic CD 1 and 2 for iOS and, in the case of CD, consoles and PC. That, you know, they basically did what this version did. Like, they added features, they updated it to, like, HD, widescreen, and, you know, all that good stuff. But they never made a Sonic 3 and Knuckles version, unfortunately.
Are there any
I
other
hate this
playthroughs?
boss, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
So, my brother and I played this boss earlier. Is the object of the boss just sit and wait?
Yeah, basically just... Well, no, you gotta bounce on him to, like, open up his weak point and let the little top spin into him.
Oh.
Like, once you know what to do, it's not too hard, but yeah, it can be kind of annoing.
Allow you stun
Especially
locked him.
when you don't get a good angle on the top. Like, it can kind of take a while.
Yeah, it's RNG based.
Yeah. But as long as you keep the heat on him like that, it's not too hard to take him down.
Wow, wrecked.
But yeah, they were never able to get a Sonic 3 and Knuckles remaster off the ground for iOS,
Nice.
and it's postulated that the reason why Sega turned
Double nice.
Christian Whitehead and friends down is because of the music rights to Sonic 3 being, you know, not exactly in the ownership of Sega. Which unfortunately is a common theme among
Tails,
the
where are
early
you
Sonic
going?
games.
Yeah.
The adventure's this way, Sonic. Oh shit.
This don't look scary, Sonic. Let's go back.
Oh man, so these balls, when I was playing with my brother earlier, he laughed his ass off because I kept getting trapped between them at like max speed. He could not stop laughing. It was hilarious.
Yeah. Carnival Night Act 2 to me is like this is a fun zone. I really have fun like playing around in this zone, but especially in my early playthroughs, I always spent so much time like messing around with all the gimmicks that I would get to the boss with like 30 seconds left to fight it.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a giant zone.
Yeah. Like there are still times where I get to like the halfway point in this zone with like 5 minutes to go.
Jeez.
Which for a classic Sonic zone is like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of level. You're getting your money's worth, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, basically what I'm saying is I'm not very good at this game.
Aw,
As
you're better
you
than
can
me.
probably tell. Well, I have the benefit of practice, but I wouldn't say that I'm like great at this game.
You're not like speed
Ethan,
run quality.
You're more into like the speed running these levels, aren't you?
Yeah, I think usually when I beat Carnival Night, it's like 7 minutes, 7 minutes.
Okay.
So like
Sounds
this is
about
definitely. I
average.
think this is the longest act in the game in Vanilla 3.
It definitely has the potential to be. I would say in 3 as a whole, honestly. Like I can't think of anything in the Sonic and Knuckles half of the game that I spend this much time on.
Sandopolis Act 2 maybe. I know that's a long one.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've kind of like Sandopolis. Like once you know what to do, it's not too hard to get around. But like this one, I don't know. This one just feels a lot more random to me, and it's easier to kind of lose track of yourself or lose track of time.
Yeah. So
That
I have
barrel
a
has killed
question.
me so many times, by the way.
Oh yeah.
So how
What's
are
up,
you?
Trey?
How are you actually supposed to control those barrels? Because I thought
It's
it was by
supposed
jumping
to
off.
push-
It's like a momentum thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Like when
watch
it's
your fire
down,
shit.
you're supposed to hold down. When it's up, you're supposed to hold up.
Okay.
Yeah, just like every other part of the game that's like based on physics.
See, I thought you had to jump.
That's what everybody thinks, myself included. Like
It's-
everybody gets stuck on the. Fans have dubbed that the barrel of doom, and I can't say that I blame them.
Yeah.
Because, like, just imagine playing that in the '90s, like before the internet, and like having to call the
Yeah.
like the Sega whatever, like cheat phone service.
Whatever their equivalent of Nintendo's version is.
Yeah. Oh boy, what a time to be alive. So yeah, this is the third variety of bonus stage, and honestly my favorite. Like I think this one balances like good rewards with fun gameplay, like the best of the three. And now it's gone.
Yep.
Dude, the fact that you have this many lives in this level bothers me because, like, I only ever have like 2 or 3 lives stocked up in this game because I'm like very ignorant of how the game works.
Well, honestly, I would say the best what I think allowed me to really get into Sonic, particularly with Sonic 1 and 2 where you can't save, is I kind of had to get like the speed focused mentality out of my head until I was like ready to handle it.
Right. You know what's coming.
And instead, you know, when you're in like Green Hill Zone in Sonic 1, like, yeah, it's so much fun to blast through that level. But that's not what you want to do if you're inexperienced. Like, you want to take it slow,
right.
Get as many rings as you can, and try to rack up as many lives as you can. Because when you get to the Labyrinth Zone or Scrap Brain, you're gonna need them.
Joe basically had to do the reverse of Lightning McQueen's pep talk at the beginning of Cars. He had to just sit there in his dark room and be like, I am not Speed. Speed is not me.
Ironic, isn't it?
Oh boy, that makes me not want to watch Cars for the first time even more.
You haven't seen Cars?
Guys, what if Sonic was a car?
You know what I have seen,
What
Dan?
if Sonic drove a car?
Cars 2.
That's ridiculous. You've seen Cars 2, but not Cars 1?
Yeah, I was babysitting my cousin one night, and that was the movie that her parents had like got on demand for us to watch.
Guys, do you think...
And we watched it.
Do you think Sonic would ride a horse?
In one of the Olympic Games, he would.
I'm
He
still
does,
waiting.
in fact.
I'm still waiting for Disney's Mars, where it's Cars, but it's about the Mars rover.
Mars
it's just the
in space.
The Mars rover has like the eyes and the face and everything, but you're just completely alone on Mars.
But
So
Mars
Wall-E
needs
It's like
moms.
sad.
just make it like the Martian.
It's like Wall-E, but without the part that he actually like meets other robots.
By the way, here's the Barrel of Doom.
Yeah,
I'm
this is
ready.
the one coming up right
Right here.
I love how they. Well, at least they waited. They waited to lock the door until Tails got in here.
Let's see if we could go
No
all
one
the
can
way down.
escape its wrath.
I remember I was always stuck on that part. The thing was, I always rented Sonic 3 for the longest time.
Yeah.
So then one time we rented it, and then I had a beaten file. We were like, me and my brother were like, how did he get through the barrel?
What wizardry is this?
That's
must be
actually
a
the
pro
end of the
player.
game. The developers didn't program past the Barrel of Doom.
It's like that one level in the Lion King game on. Was it Genesis or Super Nintendo that had like the really hard like 3rd or 4th level?
It was
The one with
To
SNES.
make sure
monkeys?
kids couldn't beat it on. Actually, I wonder if that wasn't why they made the Barrel of Doom, like to discourage rentals.
Maybe.
What?
Game developers were a lot more petty about how they chose to like lengthen their games back in the day.
I wanted to mention those bats because I like them from a design perspective because they blend in with the rest of the level.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
you
I
don't-
always get sniped by those bats.
Yeah, because you don't realize they're there or that they can actually hurt you.
God, there's nothing up there. Give up.
What are you doing, Joe? You're wasting time in this huge
He's
level.
like a
Oh,
high
I-
schooler
I-
trying to jump up and touch the ceiling.
Such like grab onto the rim of the basketball hoop.
Yeah.
Or like hitting the exit sign as you walk down the hall.
I mean, that wasn't
Nice.
something.
That
we
went
did.
with the music perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the special stage that always kicked my ass.
Yeah, this as far as the Sonic 3 ones go, this is the special stage from hell. Because this is really the only one where navigation is a big problem. Like some of the other ones can get a little confusing if you're trying to perfect them, I guess.
Prefect.
But this one, it's just like even just finding your way around. You're always going to get to a point in this one where you have 4 blue spheres left in a cluster, and you just have no idea where they are.
On the plus side, it
Without
looks
fail,
like
every single time I played this one.
on the plus side, it looks like this one, weirdly enough, opens up more as you progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I dig that.
The more
Which might be
blue
why
spheres
it's
you
harder to
clear
find
out-
those last spheres.
Yeah.
There's a couple. Oh, God. You are on the edge, sir.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
That was
Is
a
that
good
a
song
Sonic
from
Adventure
Sonic
2
Adventure
song, On the Edge?
Yes, it is, for Eternal Engine.
Yeah,
Is-
On
I
the
listened to that
Edge,
song in the
dot,
car
dot,
during
for
the-
Eternal Engine.
Is this the is this the last Chaos Emerald?
This should be the last one if you don't suck and screw up the second special stage.
Nice.
Nice.
Oops.
Perfect.
Then don't blow it.
I believe in you, Joe.
By the way, don't get used to that because I am not getting perfects on the Sonic and Knuckles special stages.
Oh, yeah.
Those ones make this one look like a walk in the park.
So it just goes to show that these two really were just one game, since those are harder, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. They do pick up in difficulty pretty much where these... Like, you get a little breather, but then it just sends you right back into the fire.
Congratulations, Joe. You got all 6 Chaos Emeralds.
All 6.
You got all
perfectly aligned.
You got all the Infinity Stones.
Mm-hmm.
I like that the 7th one is just like the gray, powerless Chaos Emerald Sonic Adventure.
You know what? You know
like
what?
when they're drained by chaos.
No, Dan, he only took out the negative energy. We can still
Dang,
use
200
them.
rings.
Oh yeah, of course. Because positive energy is boring and gray.
Unless you're playing Sonic Unleashed, where the same thing happens to the emeralds, and they all just become useless.
Like the red Dragon Balls.
Hey, Nux.
I'm here to
Hey,
press
Sonic.
another button and run away.
You know,
Like, okay, I appreciate that, like, in the Angel Island cutscene, they at least had Knuckles, like, up on a ledge where you couldn't get to him. What is stopping Sonic from attacking him during those scenes? Besides the obvious answer of invisible
Maybe
wall.
this time he's turned a new leaf.
Sonic's just a very forgiving and naive
Yeah,
fella.
Sonic knows he's not a bad guy at heart.
he swore a solemn vow to never do harm to another animal.
Yeah. Except for Eggman, who is technically another animal.
Well, he's an animal, alright.
So you mentioned the Chaos Emeralds kind of looking like the Infinity Stones. And that made me want some fan art of Big the Cat as Thanos.
The only Sonic character big and purple enough to defeat the Avengers.
I'm going
More A+ comedy in part 3. Join us then.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.